Welcome to Infinity Capital, everyone. My name is Raj. So today we are going to discuss Kajaria Ceramics. So Kajaria is one of the largest manufacturers of ceramic and vitrified tiles in India, and we are going to basically sort of find out this information from other sources too. So generally I like to go and do some more research because this data here may be wrong, right? I'm not saying Screener has put this wrong information, but over a period of time the positioning of a company changes, right? And there are new players in the market, and there are different ways into how you can say largest player by market cap, largest player by sales. So there are a lot of tricks people play, but let's try and find out from different sources as to whether Kajaria is actually the largest player or not. So then I go to Tijori. So these are both premium accounts, guys, and I would suggest if you do your analysis, these are some of the best resources on the internet to do your quick fundamental analysis. So I'm not promoting these companies. I'm not affiliated. Just telling because I use them extensively, and in Screener on the premium version, you can segregate the stocks, in through the industries. So these are the various industries you can segregate the stocks in. So amazing stuff. These are amazing platforms. All right. So getting on to Kajaria, so the source here also says that they have a 10% market share. We'll just click on this thing, and this was a research report published by Religare some time back. So they are saying that company has 10% of overall industry market share and 20% of the organized industry, right? So the tiles industry has a few organized players. It also has a lot of unorganized players, right? Because the price of the tiles, ranges from, has a variety of range depending upon, the quality and your affordability. So, Kajaria wouldn't be making some really low quality tiles. They have a name, so they maintain their quality. So then there are other players who are in the market who would be making low quality tiles, or they don't brand it as effectively. And that is the reason the market is like that. So the market structure is such that there are a lot of players, okay, and nobody has advantage over price. All right. So just to keep that in mind. So we are going to go through the ratings, which I always look at. So currently around 225 crores of total, credit, fund-based limits, discounting, non-fund-based limits, unallocated, so on and so forth. This is the money that they owe, and all of it has great ratings, AA, A plus. So the ratings are fantastic, right? Now we're just going to analyze what is the industry structure like. So ICRA says that there is intense competition in the tiles industry, as I was saying earlier, and then there are both large and organized players, okay, as well as numerous small scale tile manufacturers, okay. Plus, we've seen muted demand. The real estate industry has gone through a lot of changes. First came demonetization, then came RERA. Back in 2008, a lot of companies who had nothing to do with realty went into the real estate business. Companies like Mahindra. Now, Mahindra had some land bank, but they didn't know much about the realty business. That is also the reason why you go and check Mahindra's balance sheet and their profitability. They've not done anything great, right? So even DLF went through a hard time. They had to sell off a lot of their assets. So they had a premier mall in Delhi which they had to sell off. So industry has gone through a huge consolidation of 12 to 13 years, and now it looks like that the industry is ready to move up. Overall demand, we have interest rates at all-time low. So it looks like the industry is ready to see huge demand, right? So apart from that, see, what is the thing that is hurting the unorganized industry. So regulatory developments, such as ban by National Green Tribunal or captive coal gasifier plants in Morbi region, stricter implementation of GST e-way bills has resulted in higher compliance cost for unorganized players. So, the more organized an industry gets, you get the tax structure in place, you get everything in place, you get bring branding in place. The more difficult it is going to be for unorganized players to survive in the industry, right? So I look at it as a positive for the organized players, right? Then there is the labor unavailability, liquidity challenges faced by small players, so on and so forth. And with the pandemic, it is the unorganized players that will get hurt pretty bad. Simple fact that they don't have the kind of balance sheet that they can go and borrow money from the market through bad times. So it is going to benefit the organized players. The pandemic is going to benefit the organized players, right? So even in the credit rating, it says that Kajaria Ceramics is the largest player in the domestic tiles industry. They have around 3 decades of track record, right? Around 5,000 touch points, including dealers, sub-dealers. So this is a proper retail business, guys. It's like, so where are their biggest markets? North India is the biggest market, accounting for 40% of the revenue. South India 25, West 25, East 10. All right. And they have a pretty diversified customer base, but see, most of the tiles go in residential buildings, homes, right? And then some go in commercial buildings. So essentially most of their clients are either builders or individual shops who sell tiles to builders or individual house owners, right? They have decent liquidity. They have around 420 crores of cash and liquid investments. So overall the balance sheet is pretty good, and this is what we can gather from the credit ratings. Now we are going to go through the shareholding pattern, right? So let me just show it to you on screener. Promoters hold 47% stake, which is pretty good. This has been constant since 18. FIIs have around 25%. They've increased their holding since last year. Okay, it's gone up by 3%. DII's holdings have gone down, but overall there is good participations by FII DIIs, and public hold around 12%. So there are some marquee names who have invested in this company: Kotak, Mira Asset, UTI, Government Pension Global Fund, JP Morgan, Kotak Fund, Small Cap World Fund. Some marquee players, marquee funds are invested in this company, right? So these companies do their due diligence research and invest in the company, right? So it's good to know that these kind of players are there in the company, and I like to see institution participation, because institutions will hold on to their gains. Retail usually starts selling their stock if it goes up 10-20%, right? So institutions will hold on to the gains. They'll hold on the downside as well, right? So that is how it works. For an individual investor like me, it's really important what sort of institutions who are holding the stock. I always come here and have a look. Cash flow from operations have been positive, right? So these numbers are pretty good. Balance sheet, 124 crores of loan. This is nothing, guys. Company is worth around 16 lakh crores market cap. So this is nothing. No dilution in equity. Okay. And they have around 443 crores of cash on the balance sheet. So pretty good. Okay. So let's look at their sales. So what happened earlier? If you see, the profitability was pretty much between, the profitability was constrained to 250 crores or so. It was basically locked into this area, 230, 220, 250 crores, right? And overall, sequentially, the growth in sales was not much. So if you look at it from a 5-year period, their sales increased by 400 crores, 20%. So if we divide it by 5, it comes to around 4% growth. At the same point of time, their operating margins peaked out in 16-17, and then their margins started dropping. This could have happened because of multiple reasons. So, so if you want to do a long-term investment, you could do a deep dive in this company. What have we seen? What has got me interested? Couple of things. So, overall, if we compare the last 4 years, 5 years of sales, sequentially, the sales have risen. Okay, and there is good traction in terms of sales, even though there was COVID has hammered a lot of businesses. This business has not seen huge dip in sales. Pre-COVID, they were doing 2,956 crores of sales, and they are back to 3,000 crores of sales, right? What has happened? Couple of things. Their margins have become better, and their profits have gone higher also, right? So as compared to 2019, pretty much the sales was pretty much around 3,000 crores. They did profits of 227 crores, and now they are doing profits of 370 crores, so roughly around 150 crores higher than 2019. That is also the reason why the stock is, making new highs. So these are the reasons why I'm looking at the stock. There is clear acceleration in profitability, in operating profit margins, and some acceleration in sales. On a quarter-on-quarter basis, I like to see 2 to 3 quarters of clear acceleration in sales and profit before entering a stock. So if you see December numbers were higher, okay, and then March numbers were higher too, all right, and June numbers are higher. June numbers, will definitely be higher for most companies, because last year in June we had a very severe lockdown. But overall, there is good growth, in sales as well as profits. And if this growth keeps on continuing, we will see more upside in the stock. Let's do an analysis on the PE front. So the median PE is around 38. Stock is trading at a PE of 43. Decently priced right now from a PE valuation perspective, right? Let's do the technical analysis. So if you see here, the stock was pretty much locked into this range between, say, 350, 750. It was locked between 2016 and 2020. So it broke out in 2021. This was incidentally also the period when the profitability flatlined, and that is also the reason why the stock started going sideways. Very important thing, guys, to know is, if the growth flatlines, you have to be very careful, because the stock can just nose dive or keep going down, and you might not be able to get out of it quickly. So in the case of Kajaria, if you see, the stock has pretty much gone sideways for 5 to 6 years. So very extremely important to know these things. Now, what is my case for this stock? So this stock is basically consolidating within this 19-20% range, right? And overall, the volume is shrinking, which means supply is going down. So that's a good thing. Let's check out what the moving averages are doing. So the 50-day is flat, 200-day moving average is going up, trending up. Overall, the trend is up, right? So pretty good. June numbers have come in pretty good, and the stock sort of went down, but it made a recovery. So now, what sort of strategy do I have? So I'll be looking to enter the stock within this range between 950, 1050, between this 100-point range. I'll be looking to accumulate this stock, right? And wait for at least 2 quarters. So now we have the lockdowns have eased up, economy has opened up, lockdowns has eased up, and with more economic activity, we should see better sales. So that we are hopeful of. Obviously, we can't be sure of things, but we are making a calculated bet here that things will become better. So we are going to hold this for the next 2 quarters, and if the numbers come in at a higher clip, uh, you know, chances of the stock going up is pretty high. Just going to show you a couple of other things with respect to operating profit margins and ROE. Kajaria has the best numbers except for the 5-year returns. But if you look at the ROCE, operating profit margin, and ROE, numbers are pretty good. I'm seeing similar sort of consolidation in Sera, Somani also. So I'll be making a video on Sera and Somani going forward to see what kind of opportunities are arising in these companies as well. Technically, from a technical perspective, they look pretty decently poised, just like Kajaria. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Quick disclaimer, this is not a buy sell recommendation, it's an educational video.